Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session on long-term wealth creation presentation and the strategic asset allocation. So, when we look at the personal finance, our primary goal often pulls us into two opposite directions. So, one of them is a growth of our invested money, and the second one is the absolute necessary, which is safety. Today, we are going to explore an investment instrument that bridges this gap perfectly. The Public Provident Fund, or PPF, is one of India's most robust sovereign guaranteed savings available. Over the next few minutes, we will unpack how this system is structurally engineered, how its tax benefit can yield exceptional risk adjusted returns, and how you can strategically optimize your deposits to leverage the mathematical miracle of compounding. So let us begin. To understand the power of any financial instrument, we first have to understand its boundaries and blueprint. Let us begin by examining the core architecture of the PPF, or Public Provident Fund. Specifically, we will look at who can invest, what the financial boundaries are, and why these guardrails exist in the first place. Let us start with the understanding of who can participate. So, a PPF account is a highly accessible yet strictly regulated. Any resident Indian adult can open an account in his name. Parents or legal guardians can also open a separate account on behalf of a minor, ensuring a solid financial head start. However, please note that the regulatory restrictions, joint accounts are not permitted, and institutions like HUFs as well as NRIs are barred from opening a new account. On operational side, the limits are designed to be highly flexible. So you can start with as low as rupees 500 in a financial year and up to rupees 1.5 lakh per year. So you have the freedom to deposit this as a single lump sum amount or in multiple flexible transactions throughout the year. Finally, because this is a tool designed for long-term wealth creation, it comes with a structural lock-in period of 15 complete financial years. This disciplined horizon is exactly what allows your money to work quietly and powerfully behind the scenes. So now let us look at the tax related information. So your annual contribution of up to 1.5 lakh rupees can be deducted directly from your taxable income under the old tax regime under Section 80C. Do note that this benefit applies if you remain under the old tax regime. The second exemption that we have is as your money sits in the fund, it earns the interest. In a normal bank account, that interest is taxable, but in PPF, your accrued interest is completely tax-free. Year after year, 100% of your earnings are reinvested directly back into your principal without a single rupee leaking out as a tax. When the 15-year maturity hits and you withdraw your accumulated wealth, the entire corpus, both the principal and the massive compounded interest, is handed back to you completely tax-free. There are no capital gain taxes on PPF. While PPF is a passive investment, optimizing your returns requires active strategy. You must understand how the interest is calculated. So PPF interest rates are backed by government guarantee. They are reviewed, adjusted, and announced quarterly by the Ministry of Finance. Currently, the interest rate is 7.1% per annum. But there is an insider secret that every investor must know. The fifth of month rule. The government computes interest on monthly basis, but it does so using the lowest balance in your account between the close of the fifth day and the end of the month. So what does this mean actually is if you deposit money on the 6th of May, that deposit will earn zero interest for the entire month of May. Therefore, if you are investing monthly, always ensure your funds are clear before or on the 5th of the month. So let us look at the power of compounding. To understand why we are obsessed over these small timing strategies, let us look at the actual mathematics. On your screen, you can see the standard computing formula for an ordinary annuity. Because interest is credited annually on 31st March, the upward curve of your wealth is incredibly steep in the last year. If you maximize your account with 1.5 like annual at an interest of 7.1, watch how the timeline changes the output. At the standard 15-year maturity, you will have invested 22.5 lakhs of principal, which grows to 40.6 lakh rupees. If you extend that account for another 5 years to a 20-year horizon, your total corpus jumps to 66.5. And if you make PPF a lifetime wealth building strategy over a 30-year career, then your investment of 45 lakh balloons into a staggering 1.54 crore. This is a compounding at finest. The bulk of wealth isn't money you pay out of your pocket. It is a tax-free interest compounding upon itself. So now let us look at withdrawal and closures. Uh, the common criticism that PPF faces is your money is locked for 15 years. However, the system is designed with intentional values to provide liquidity when you absolutely need that money. So let us look at the partial withdrawal. Once your account completes 5 full financial years, you are allowed to make partial tax-free withdrawals every single year. The maximum amount you can pull out is capped to 50% of the balance. We calculate this baseline as either the balance at the end of the fourth preceding year or immediate preceding year, whichever of those two figures is lower. When it comes to premature account closure, the government maintains strict boundaries to protect your retirement savings. However, on compassionate grounds such as treating life-threatening illness for your family or funding higher education for your dependent children, you can close the account fully after 5 years. There is a small trade-off here. 1% interest penalty is deducted retrospectively from your earnings as a fee for early exit. What if you face a short-term cash crunch but don't want to permanently break your PPF account? The PPF offers an incredibly cheap emergency lending facility. So you can take a loan against PPF starting from third financial year up to the 6th year of the account's life cycle. The maximum loan account you can draw is 25% of the balance. Here is the best part. The interest rates which are charged on the loan is 1% per annum, provided you repay it within 36 months. So let us look at how the maturity works. When your 15-year lock-in period officially ends, you are presented in the three pathways. So one is you can close and withdraw the amount. Second one is you can extend without making any fresh deposits. So you can extend for 5 years. Option three is extend with a fresh deposits. So if your cash flow permits, you can continue to contribute and save. If you choose this route, remember that you must submit a single document Form H within 1 year of maturity. To wrap up our analysis, let us contextualize the PPF against other popular tax saving options under Section 80C. On this slide, we compare PPF to ELSS mutual fund, NPS, which is your National Pension Scheme, and tax saving fixed deposit. If your primary goal is aggressive, high risk growth, ELSS market linked can yield higher returns, but it carries market risk and its gains are taxed at 12.5%. NPS offers market exposure but keeps your fund locked up strictly until you reach the age of 60. Tax saving bank FDs offer safety, but their interest is fully taxable, which dramatically drags your net tax return. The Public Provident Fund is the only instrument here that perfectly blends and triply tax-free status, zero market risk thanks to the government backing, and a predictable 15-year timeline. It serves as the ultimate anchor for the debt portion of any modern investment portfolio. So this brings us to the end of our structured review. The Public Provident Fund is not just a passive tax saver. It is a powerful, guaranteed, and highly flexible wealth compounder. By understanding these timing rules, tax treatment, and extension options, you can make PPF a vital pillar of your long-term financial security. Thank you everyone for attending this session and watching this video.